Hello, everyone, and welcome to our solution presentation for the first ever Katz Super Analytics Challenge. We are endlessly thankful for the opportunity to make an impact on an issue as dire as homelessness, and we are confident that the insights we will share with you today will draw focus to a very critical need and what we can do to help. There are 5 of us working together on Team 4, and we look forward to sharing our solution findings with you. We would first like to review our high impact question and the critical problem we need to address. Our high impact question is, how does someone's criminal history interplay with their experiences with homelessness?
To first start talking, we're going to look at some numbers in Allegheny County. 32% of people who experienced homelessness also experienced jail time, as opposed to only 0.19% of people in the general population. On the right-hand side, we see that 67% of people who experienced jail time also experienced homelessness, as opposed to 0.07% of people in the general population who experienced homelessness. This brings to light a critical problem in that people with incarceration experiences are enduring home insecurities at an exceedingly higher rate than the general population. These statistics support the jail homelessness cycle theory, which explains that jail time perpetuates homelessness, which then perpetuates jail time and creates a cycle pattern. This is a critical problem that requires a creative solution. In this chart, in the dark orange, we have people who were jailed upon being homeless, and in the light yellow, we have homeless people, or people who became homeless upon leaving jail. And what we see is within 1 year, within 1 to 2 years, within 2 to 3 years, and then within 3 to 5 years. And what we see is that people most need services within 1 year. This is when they're most vulnerable and coming out of either jail or being homeless. The faster that these people can get services to help them with life after incarceration, the better chance they stand at breaking that homelessness jail cycle.
So to further elaborate on the problem, we created 2 explanatory models, where our first explanatory model says that a person who experienced jail 1 month ago has 17.8% chances of being currently homeless, compared to 15.8% chances who experienced jail 4 months ago. In our second explanatory model, it says that a person who experienced homelessness 1 month ago has 2.29% chances of being currently experiencing jail time, compared to 1.85% chances who experienced homelessness 9 months ago. We can also create the risk score calculator based on these results.
These are the most correlated factors with incarceration and homelessness. We need programs that focus on these areas to help people who have been incarcerated or are experiencing homelessness.
So we know the critical problem to address, which is the exponential rate at which people with jail experiences also experience homelessness and vice versa. But how can we apply data modeling methods and machine learning in real life to achieve a solution? Our recommendation builds upon the amazing work done through the 2017 Allegheny County Strategic Plan to prevent and end homelessness by incorporating a targeted focus on the jail homelessness cycle and more efficiently connecting the dots between existing resources and the people who need them most. The objective is to develop a tool with a predictive algorithm to anticipate what existing support resources and/or service programs are most optimal for an individual. This would be an intervention effort to better optimize the resources and programs that have already been stood up across the entire community. Our goal is a simple one: optimize existing resources better. It is with excitement and hope that we welcome you to the ORB solution. This visual displays examples of the various resources that could be included in the repository that the ORB will reference. The resources include not only what is available at the jail, but also what is available across the entire community. These categories and lists of resources are by no means exhaustive, but just an example of the kind of content the repository will hold. A prescriptive data model will be used to help with resource planning and program capacity and demand forecasting over time. The orb will use machine learning to predict if a client is more likely to become homeless or incarcerated in the future.
As my friend introduced the orb solution, so this application not just considers the predictive model, but also prescriptive models. So in our prescriptive model, we have tried to come up with mixed integer programming method in solving the demand forecasting, resource planning based on the budget availability for a given period of time. Say, are we forecasting for 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year? In fact, in our orb engine, we have tried to include all the major stakeholders' practical objectives into our consideration, especially from the minimization of cost perspective. In addition, the orb model would also help in minimizing or preventing any service program going over exhaustive. This is done through equal distribution of services across all the programs available in assigning the homeless people given our budget. More information can be seen in the appendix section about the math model methodology and dummy solution, including with the service flow distribution topology through visualization.
This is a high-level flow for how the orb could be implemented within a jail. To walk through a simple example, say Jane is entering jail. During the entry process, questions are asked and information is recorded on her. Let's say Jane is a single mom who had a recent homeless experience, is struggling with a domestic violence situation, is low income, and does not have a car. This information is run through the orb's predictive algorithm engine, which outputs a homeless risk score. In addition, it pulls out specific resources from its repository that would help Jane specifically. Let's say her homeless risk score is high, and the tool recommends case management from the jail, the Hearth Organization for Housing, and mobile moms through the Travelers Aid Society of Pittsburgh for transportation. Through her jail experience, she receives education on the recommendations for her, as well as additional support that can help her access them. Upon exiting jail, Jane now has an action plan for what she can do to avoid another jail or homeless experience.
Based on the results of our models, we created the risk score calculator to predict the risk that homeless person might experience jail time. For this process, we enter the personal details of a person, which will go into the algorithm, which will generate the risk score. For example, a homeless person who has a client ID 1, 2, 3, 4. This client ID belongs to a female who is having health crisis and has past experience with homelessness. When this information enters into the algorithm, it will give us the predicted risk score of 46.3%. Now, to abstract away the technical details, we have added the mechanics of the calculator in the appendix, slide number 34N.
We now want to take a look at the orb from a budget and resource perspective. We expect that the orb could be implemented within a reasonable budget and within the next year using a few key resources. First, University of Pittsburgh students. We would want to entice the top talent through internships, fellowships, or course partnerships to get the full tool developed as well as a thorough deployment plan. This benefits the students because of the valuable experience gained and benefits the university by strengthening their relationships within the community. This would fall within a reasonable budget and timeline, as it would be a value exchange between the university and the community organizations and could be executed over the next summer, fall, or spring semesters. Next is the Allegheny Department of Human Services, who would provide the operational support to get the tool stood up and ready for deployment. They would benefit through the increased utilization of existing resources and programs, as well as the expected decrease in homeless experiences in the community. This should fall within a reasonable budget by utilizing existing staff to support the effort. Finally is the Allegheny County Jail and Police Department, who would be tasked with the adoption and deployment of the orb. They would benefit through reduced costs and resources exerted on repeat arrests due to the jail homelessness cycle, reduced time to collect support resources for inmates, and an increased number of inmates who would receive the recommended support resources. This should also fall within a reasonable budget by utilizing existing staff to support the effort. We want to leave you with one final idea. While our recommendation for this challenge focuses on one critical problem, there are other use cases for the orb in the community. We are confident this solution is versatile and could be applied in other settings to efficiently match people in need with resources that can help them. For example, the tool could be used in the new homeless shelter project downtown near the Allegheny County Jail to help expedite the services provided to facilitate needs for folks struggling with a variety of issues. Breaking the jail homelessness cycle is just the beginning of the potential for the ORB solution. With that, we thank all of the judges for your time and consideration. We look forward to connecting with you further on this very important issue of jail and homelessness and how we can help by optimizing existing resources better with the ORB solution. Thank you.